Amber Heard was mistaken if she thought her problems would go away after the trial between her and Johnny ended. In fact, it seems that they have gotten worse over time. Since the trial's conclusion, when she was ordered to pay Johnny about $10.35 million, Amber Heard's financial situation has gotten very bad, but her lawyer says she has no way of repaying the money. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. In this one, we'll examine how a new judge disclosed the reason why he issued arrest warrant for Amber Heard. Yes, you heard that right, so let's get started with the video. Amber tried to get out of the situation by filing an appeal once more, but the court rejected her request. She also relied on her insurance company to help her with some of her financial concerns, but that company sued Amber for trying to make them pay legal fees for which they are not legally obligated. But that's not all. Amber Heard is now having a lot of problems in Australia, and the former deputy minister of that nation is doing all in his power to get her locked up. Amber Heard might be sentenced to 14 years in jail for lying. In connection with the dog smuggling incident in 2015, the FBI is helping Australia develop a case against Amber Heard. In April 2015, Amber neglected to report 2 Yorkshire Terriers, Pistol and Boo, at customs, violating Australia's strict biosecurity standards. Amber flew to Queensland, where Johnny was filming the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie with the puppies. Australian authorities discovered the dog's unauthorized entrance after a Gold Coast grooming business shared pictures of the creatures on Facebook. The Deputy Prime Minister at the time, Barnaby Joyce, informed Amber and Johnny that if they left for the United States, their dogs would be put down. Amber and Johnny were given 72 hours to export the dogs after the Australian Ministry of Agriculture issued an instant statement ordering quarantine for the canines. Amber was first charged with 2 charges of illegally importing an animal and 1 count of forgery. However, the 2 biosecurity-related charges were later dropped. In April 2016, Amber admitted to falsifying quarantine paperwork, blaming sleep deprivation for her mistake. However, prosecutor Peter Colligan said that this was not an acceptable excuse and that everyone should be subject to the law. In exchange for Amber's guilty plea, the judge dismissed 2 felonies for illegal animal importation and put her on a $1,000 bond. Amber became murky and started mocking Australian law and the Prime Minister after this incident. At first, Amber tweeted a picture of herself pretending to smuggle a dog into a Syrian refugee camp. I think some habits are hard to break, and in December 2021, Amber teased the Australian Prime Minister by revealing that she had adopted a new dog and given him the name Barnaby. With the FBI's assistance, Australian officials announced in 2021 that they were looking into Amber for perjury and the dog smuggling incident. They resumed their investigation when Kevin Murphy, Johnny's estate manager, refused to testify in Johnny's libel case against the son and claimed that he had signed a declaration for the Australian government to proceed. This document, which was written by the U.S. attorney representing Ms. Heard in this case and contains some largely incorrect assertions, explains how Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp got their canines into Australia. Kevin also claimed that he was in charge of the paperwork, but Amber told the authorities that she was unaware that it was insufficient despite his repeated warnings that taking the dogs to Australia without the proper paperwork would lead to legal problems. Kevin claimed that I was in charge of the paperwork, but I was unable to obtain it. Amber Heard wanted Miss James to submit a false statement that Miss Heard was ignorant that it would be illegal for her to bring her dogs into Australia and that Miss Heard was fully aware of this before coming to Australia with the dogs. Kevin also stated that when he felt uncomfortable lying to the court, Amber threatened him. If that is the case, I perceived it as a threat. Amber stated that I wouldn't want her to have problems at work. I need your help with this, but there's more. Miss Heard was aware that this was illegal because I repeatedly informed her by email, telephone, and in person. But there's more. Wallman, Adam, according to reports, Johnny's attorney has traveled to Australia to submit evidence against Amber after hearing that she may also be charged with glassing, a major crime in that country, after one of the couple's confrontations. As a result of Amber breaking a vodka bottle, Johnny lost a fingertip. If the FBI is also investigating her in the glassing incident and she is found guilty, she could face nearly 20 years in prison. Online users believe that Amber should be punished for lying and endangering Australia's biodiversity. A recording of Amber pleading and apologizing, saying that she never intended to harm Johnny, was also leaked. Do you think that Amber would be arrested? I hope you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing to my channel. What are your opinions on this? Please let me know in the comments box below. Stay tuned for the next video where we'll provide more of the most recent information.